It was a quiet morning. Little Abeer was still sound asleep, dreaming peacefully under her cozy blanket. But her best friend Snowy was already wide awake, with a special plan in mind. Without making a sound, Snowy snuck out of the room. She had a lot to do, and not much time before Abeer woke up. Snowy tiptoed over to the desk and looked up at the big wall calendar. There it was, circled in red. Today was Abeer's birthday. Downstairs, she opened her secret notebook. On the very first page, it said, "Birthday plan for Abeer." And Snowy? She was ready to begin. She put on her tiny backpack, grabbed her list, and gave herself a determined little nod. Operation Birthday Surprise was underway. Through the puddles and along the sidewalk she went, bags tied to her back and heart full of excitement. Snowy reached the big mart. The doors whooshed open, and in she walked, ready to shop like a professional party planner. First stop, balloons. She grabbed a whole bunch, red, blue, yellow, even one with a sparkly star. Abeer would love these. Then came the party hats. Snowy tried on every shape and color, even one so big it fell right over her eyes. Next, the cake aisle. Flour, eggs, sprinkles. Snowy carefully picked everything she needed to bake Abeer's favorite cake. With her little cart full of goodies, she pulled it down the aisle, one paw in front of the other. She looked so proud. With the sun shining down, Snowy walked home, party bags bouncing behind her, imagining the look on Abeer's face. She peeked into the bedroom. Abeer was still asleep. Phew, the surprise was safe. For now. Back in the living room, Snowy started blowing up balloons. Pop! One burst suddenly, and Snowy nearly jumped out of her fur. She climbed up and taped the banner on the wall. Happy birthday, Abeer! It wasn't perfectly straight, but it was perfectly sweet. This dreamer's, though. Oh dear. They tangled around her tail, her ears, even her whiskers. Snowy spun in circles trying to escape. Finally, she plugged in the fairy lights. One by one, they twinkled to life, turning the room into a magical party wonderland. She placed party hats neatly on the table and even wore one herself. Everything was almost ready. Time to bake. Snowy tied on her tiny apron, stood on her tiptoes, and began mixing the cake batter with great care. She was Chef Snowy now. But oops! A big sneeze sent a puff of flour flying through the air. White dust covered everything, even Snowy's nose. She poured the batter into the tray, proud as ever, until she noticed something sticky. Her fluffy tail had dipped into the mix. While the cake baked, Snowy curled up beside the warm oven. She was tired, but so happy. Her surprise was almost ready. Ding ding! The cake was done. Snowy carefully balanced the tray with her tiny oven mitts, one wobbly step at a time. She added sprinkles, cream, and chocolate letters that read, "Happy Birthday, Abeer." It wasn't perfect, but it was made with love. She placed the candles gently on top and dimmed the lights. The room sparkled like magic. It was time. Next to the cake, Snowy placed a hand-drawn card with a heart on the front. Inside, it said, "To my best friend, from Snowy, Back in the bedroom, Snowy tiptoed over to Abeer and softly tapped her cheek. It was time to wake the birthday girl. Abeer rubbed her sleepy eyes, then gasped. The room was glowing with lights and colors. A birthday wonderland made just for her. Hand in paw, Abeer walked into the room. She couldn't believe her eyes. Balloons, cake, decorations. It was all for her. Snowy led her to the table, pointing proudly at the cake she had made. Abeer smiled wide, her eyes full of joy. With Snowy by her side, Abeer leaned forward and made a wish, then blew out her candles in one happy puff.
Hey to you, happy birthday, dear.
The music played, and Abeer spun in circles, giggling with delight. Snowy danced too, tail swaying to the beat.
Happy birthday, dear Yuki-kun. Happy birthday to you. Happy
Down, wrapped her tiny arms around Snowy and gave her the biggest, warmest hug ever. It was her way of saying thank you. After all the excitement, the two best friends curled up on the couch, party hats still on, eyes slowly closing, hearts full. Snowy peeked up one last time and held a tiny sign with her paw. It read, "Mission accomplished." And oh yes, it truly was. Abeer and Snowy turned to the camera, smiling and waving, and just like that, their perfect little day came to a close.
torn between night and day.
Is this just